U.S. President Donald Trump has reiterated that the U.S. is in charge of Venezuela 2 days after the seizure of the deposed president, Nicolás Maduro. Listen in first to what he said.
With the people, we're dealing with the people that just got sworn in. And don't ask me who's in charge because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very comfortable. We're in charge.
Have you seen it?
We're in charge.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, but other
Do you
people.
want to?
Right now.
However, Trump's Secretary of State suggested that the U.S. may not take a day-to-day role in governing Venezuela. In an interview with CBS, Rubio said the U.S. would continue to enforce an oil quarantine that was already in place on sanctioned tankers before Maduro was removed from power early on Saturday, and in fact use that leverage as a means to press policy changes in Venezuela.
We have leverage. This leverage we are using and we intend to use. We started using already. You can see where they are running out of storage capacity. In a few weeks, they're going to have to start pumping oil unless they make changes.
Trump vowed to run Venezuela over half a dozen times at a news conference in Florida. It not only sparked concern among some Democrats, but also drew unease from parts of his own Republican coalition, including an America First base that is opposed to foreign intervention. In fact, Rubio dismissed such criticism, saying that Trump's intent had been misunderstood by a foreign policy establishment that was fixated on West Asia. Not just that, Rubio also suggesting that America would give Maduro's subordinate, who is now in charge, time to govern.
We are going to give people an opportunity to address those challenges and those problems. Until they address it, they will continue to face this oil quarantine. They will continue to face pressure from the United States. We will continue to target drug boats if they try to run towards the United States.
The U.S. action in Venezuela has evoked reactions globally. The European Union, in a statement, said the principles of international law must be upheld in Venezuela and the will of the country's people must be respected. EU's top diplomat said in a statement supported by 26 of the 27 nations. Urging the principles of international law and the UN Charter be upheld, the joint statement calling for restraint from all sides to ensure a peaceful solution. Criticism from the EU was possibly muffled for fear of attracting Trump's displeasure when his support for Ukraine is still considered vital. The European Commission president also focused on what might happen next. And as we piece together those reactions, we also spoke to James J. Marlowe, a foreign affairs and defense analyst from London, along with him, Joachim Bitterlich, the former German ambassador to NATO, who also joined us.
Saw actually just over 52 hours ago was a spectacular operation by the United States, which had been planned for many, many months. It's quite clear to see that. The actual intelligence that they managed to obtain was really amazing, to be able to pinpoint Maduro exactly where he goes, who he's with, whether he's with civilians or children, how many homes he has, what he eats, what he wears, etc.
The situation in Venezuela. Venezuela had an election, it seems, some time ago, where the opposition leader had been elected. Well, he was not able to take over, avoided by, let's say, by the Bolivar people. And therefore, I understand to a large extent what our British colleague has been telling. And the reaction of the EU is not, let's call it, unanimous. Yesterday, Meloni, the Italian Prime Minister, and the French President have been showing real understanding for what the Americans have been doing. And on the other hand, you see those who are, let's say, conservative insofar, the HR and the Commission President, by the way, who has no mandate in foreign policy.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.